And Cardi B is the role model for 12-year-old girls. There's rappers pushing Xanax at the top of the billboard, but if I mention race in a song, I'm scared I'll get killed for it. It's backwards, it's getting exponentially dumb. It's more difficult to get a job than purchase a gun. Eminem used to gay bash and murder his mom, and now he doesn't want fans if they voted for Trump. We're ashamed to be American. You should probably love it, cause you have the right to say it and not get strung up in public. As children we were taught how to walk and talk, but the system wants adults to sit down and shut up. Cancel culture runs the world now, the planet went crazy. Label everything we say as homophobic or racist. If you're white, then you're privileged, guilty by association. All our childhood heroes got Me Too'd or they're rapists. They never freed the slaves. They realized that they don't need to change. They gave us tiny screens, we think we free cause we can't see the cage. They knew that race war would be the game they need to play. For people to big teams, they use the media to feed the flame.
They so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old safe zones. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about your feelings.
I think it's crazy how these people screaming facts, but they fake woke. Hate their neighbor cause he wears a mask or he stays home. Has a daughter but his favorite artist said he slays hoes. Picks her up from school, music slaps on the way home. Censorship's an issue cause they choose what they erase. There's a difference between hate speech and speech that you hate. I think Black Lives Matter was the stupidest name, when the system's screwing everyone exactly the same. I just want to spend Thanksgiving Day with food and my family, without being accused of celebrating native casualties. We got so divided, it's black and white and political. Republicans are bigots, libtards if you're liberal. There's riots in our streets and it's just getting worse. Y'all screaming thief on the police, y'all a genius for sure. They're underfunded already, they're way too busy to work. Order food and call the cops, see what reaches you first. Segregation ended, that's a lie in itself. That was a strategy to make us think they were trying to help. They knew that racism was hot if they designed it to sell. We buy up every single box and divide us ourselves.
They so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old safe zones. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about your feelings.
We use violence to get peace and wonder why it isn't working. That's like sleeping with a football team to try and be a virgin. Politicians are for sale and someone always makes the purchase, but you and I cannot afford it. Our democracy is worthless. If a man has mental illness, call him crazy, say it silently. When country's going crazy, we accept it as society. Get sick and take a pill. When the side effects get you high, you get addicted like these rappers dying fighting with sobriety. Censoring the facts turns our children into idiots. They claim it's for our safety. I'll tell you what it really is. Removing information that empowers all the citizens. The truth doesn't damage points of view that are legitimate. They're trying to change amen to amen and women. How'd we let them make praying a microaggression? Instead of asking God for the strength to keep winning, we cheat to get ahead and then we ask him for forgiveness. Feminism used to be the most righteous of fights, but these days it feels like they secretly hate guys. I don't trust anyone who bleeds for a week and don't die. I'm just kidding, but everything else that I said is right.
They so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old safe zones. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about your feelings.
I can't be canceled, there's no way that you can stop me. I'm fully independent, there's no label who can drop me. Y'all been starting rumors, let me help you with some. Yeah. I'm a racist, I'm a sexist, I'm in love with Donald Trump. Y'all can't cancel me, my life is scandal free. There ain't no sponsors taking losses cause the brand is me. My hands are clean, my family and my fans agree. Y'all can't cancel me for facts because you're mad and weak. Go ahead and tell the world I'm ugly and racist. I braid my hair and I don't care about cultural appropriation. I lived in the ghetto, lived in South Central, there's no Caucasians. And still I loved every single one of my neighbors. How's a man say I'm clickbait if he gonna use this face to get clicks on his page? Y'all hypocrites are bitch made. But I ain't tripping about these bullies, it ain't 6th grade. Go ahead and diss me trying to sell a couple mixtapes. I'm not afraid, take my face and my name, paste it on the front page. I'm already famous and you'll never change it by hating or claiming you'll take it away. My grind wicked, write my rhymes different. You can try to quantify defying limits as a dying gimmick and denying winning. This is pure fire, this ain't white privilege. I do what I want, get all the Gucci and Louis Vuitton out of my closet, out of my crib. I do not want it, that is for kids, that is for rap.
Good day, ma'ams and sirs, and welcome to the Number 9 with Tommy podcast.
The fuck is going on over there?
Here's what happened, bro. I copied and pasted this intro, but I didn't copy and paste the fucking second line because the first line is actually pre-written because that's how lazy I am.
Interesting.
Here we go. Yeah. Good day, ma'ams and sirs, and welcome to the most glorious podcast on the interwebs, the Number 9 with Tommy podcast. Did I say glorious? I meant to say the most likely to discuss Floridian glory holes. We're the only podcast willing to fire shots from atop Beyonce's grassy knolls. The only ones who don't hit the mute button when they blow air out of their gassy holes. Plus, we don't hesitate to attack Amber Heard or harassing foes. In high school, Tom was voted most likely to have a wife who was completely satisfied sexually since all he does is eat. I was all-state in the STD games my senior year because I, quote, has no fear of where he shoves his meat. Anyway, Number 9ers, we're excited to be talking to you on this podcast tonight, even if Tom gets upset and just keeps telling me that I'm right. Speak of the devil, Tommy fucking Washington. What's been up, man? How are you?
You know, Pat, you're right. I do get upset a lot and tell you that you're just right.
I know.
That's only happened like 3 or 4 times. So, Pat, did you win that bet that we placed on Monday night?
Fuck you, Tom. That's why.
Did you you didn't happen to take the so Pat, let me tell you what happened. So there was a booster bet. Phobic, welcome to the chat, bro. So there was a booster bet on FanDuel that the Steelers to win by 1 to 13 points. So I took that booster bet.
I did see that.
I took that booster bet. I put 50 on it because that's the max you can do. Payout was pretty good. It was like $85 if I won, so get back 135. Pretty good. It's your boy Baldy and DJ Companion DJ Flatbill. I think
I'd like to point out that I do not have it. My brim is bent.
Not very much so. Yo, anyway, I gotta ask you about this new song that came out, by the way. But anyway, so it's halftime, right? And I'm watching the game, and it looks like the Steelers are gonna totally annihilate the Bears, right? They're up already by like 11, going in the half, and I'm like, this game's over. So I don't want to lose that $50, so I had a $50 free bet if I did a live bet. So I did a live bet for the Steelers to win by 14 plus, right? And in doing this, I'm like, okay, so I'll cover my 50 at least, but I'm like, the odds were so like negative that I put everything I had in the account on it, $190 for them to win by 14 plus, and then I wake up and the motherfuckers only won by 2. So I won the original bet, so I really lost. I had a net loss of like $15.
That makes me feel better about what you did to me, Tom.
Yeah, man. I guess you should have taken the Bears at +7.
I should have just bet what I thought was the right bet. And not listen to Tom, but I wanted to play twinsies, and I bet what you bet.
So our boy Griff, he doesn't watch the show live, but he listens to it as soon as it comes out, and he texted me Tuesday morning and said, "I love that you talked Pat out of taking the Bears at +7."
Thanks, Griff. Appreciate you, buddy.
It was rough, man. Yeah, rough gambling. I actually put some bets on basketball tonight, so we'll see how that goes.
I'm glad that your gambling addiction has shown some growth.
Yeah, I put money on, I think it was Steph Curry and...
Yes, you're betting individual players. Let's go.
No, it was a booster bet because I don't know shit about basketball. But it seemed... But this is how much I don't know about basketball. that the 2 players that they listed in these in this booster bet, I've heard of both of them, so it seemed like a pretty good booster bet because you only hear about the greats: LeBron James, Michael Jordan, uh, Steph Curry, uh, the other guy that's listed in this booster bet.
Is it Lonzo Ball?
No, Kevin Durant. So
Oh, yeah,
it's for Steph Curry and Kevin Durant to score 65 plus combined points at plus 170. Seems like a solid bet.
Yeah. I mean, it's not unrealistic. Curry's been lights out from the 3-point line since birth.
And then my brother said, don't know shit about football neither, or else you wouldn't be a Niners fan. Well, at least none of my players are running over
Wow.
people. Anyway,
Wow. That joke was no accident.
coming at you at 156. And then I said, fuck it, I'll take a hockey bet because I've heard the Maple Leafs.
Hold on. Phobic Squirrel said we win games. You don't win the game of life, motherfucker.
Well, especially if you're going up against them.
That motherfucker went to jail. He went directly to jail. He didn't pass go. He didn't collect $200.
You can have your schoolboys. We got them hard motherfuckers, he says.
Oh my God. Sounds so much more homoerotic than it was supposed to.
And then I took the Maple Leafs and the Stars both to win.
Oh my God, you bet hockey. Yes.
Well, that's at plus 240. So I had an extra $15, so I threw $15 on it. And hey, if they both win, dude, I'm coming out with $180. So I'll feel pretty good about that. Probably neither of them are gonna hit because, well, I suck at the game of life. And dude, have you heard this new song that Snoop Dogg and all them came out with?
No.
It's called I'm gonna pull it up because I don't want to fuck it up. It's like Subwoofer or something. Big Subwoofer is what it's called. It's by they made a new band or group, I guess, called Mount Westmore. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I would definitely give it a listen.
Yeah, I'm not the hugest Snoop Dogg fan, but I'm in. I'll listen.
Well, it's Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, and E40.
I do like E40, and I am a massive Ice Cube fan.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good. It's pretty catchy, if you know what I mean.
Is it catchier than Island Boy or Baby Shark?
Not the same song, not the same types of song. They're bad. Island Boy is just a guy going Island Boy or some shit.
First off, it's two guys.
Baby Shark, do do do, Baby Shark, do do do. You know, I guess that's kind of catchy.
It's catchy as fuck. It's like Livin' La Vida Loca, bro.
Livin' the Vila Loca. What a great song. Whatever happened to that guy?
Ricky Martin?
Yeah, was that his name?
That was his name. I don't know what happened to Ricky Martin. I assume he's very handsome at this point. Well, Tom got a text message on his watch. Go ahead, Dick Tracy. Who's texting you?
Fuckface.
Somebody needs you to get to the HQ on the DT.
Oh, dude. I meant to tell you this, but we were having some technical difficulties before we went live here. And it's totally unrelated to the podcast and everything whatsoever. But remember that thing you called me about earlier with the guy coming in for something? Right at the end of the day?
Yeah.
Totally forgot about it. Guess what time he rolled in?
What time?
5:20. Luckily, I was still in the parking lot showing off my fancy new truck to everybody. And the guy came in fucking flying. And I had to get back in to load him up. So that was cool.
That sucks.
Yeah, I was not happy. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Probably shouldn't have said that on the podcast, but no big deal. Anyway, what we got on the agenda today, Pat? I didn't really look. I saw some memes.
We got some decent, what I think are some really quality memes, actually. We have a great story about how when you leave a company, this guy wrote the fucking book on leaving companies. We have an update on Kyle Rittenhouse, which is Kyle Rittenhouse during the Kenosha riots was the 17-year-old, I believe, who opened fire and killed a few folks.
I was actually just watching part of his trial.
Yeah, the trial is underway. The prosecution has rested, the state has rested, and the defense is up. They may have actually wrapped up today. I don't know because I am not
They
up to date
actually
of the
just
day.
they actually just filed for a mistrial.
They should have filed for a mistrial before they even brought somebody in. So we'll get into that. We have an interesting story. One of the boys from Led Zeppelin has written a book, and it is a fishy tale. Tom, we'll get into that, and then we have a story. Have you ever watched the show Switched at Birth, Tom?
No.
It's a television show about two families who find it in their hearts to come together when they realize that their children were actually accidentally switched at birth. So there is a uh, a bunch of the people in the show are deaf because one of the daughters is deaf and the other daughter is not. One of them is from, I guess, poverty. One of them is from wealth. The show is family friendly. It's a great show. That shit is gonna be a story we talk about. The real life version, bro. The real fucking life version. Lawsuits flying every which way.
Nice. All right, so let's
Yeah.
get into your memes.
So the first meme is a group of I'm gonna say Middle
Every time.
Eastern.
Every time I fuck this up.
Okay, it's a group of American soldiers walking in the Middle East, and it just says at the top it says, "Hey Joe, we were separated from our families," and at the bottom it says, "Can we each get $450,000?" That seems pretty reasonable. That doesn't even upset me, Tom.
Doesn't upset me either. You know what
I think.
So Pat, I was listening to if you I know that you didn't hear it, but I told you when we went live that I put Phobic says this upsets him, which is crazy because he's an active military member. So Phobic, I would love for you to elaborate. But anyway, I was listening to America by Tom McDonald today.
Yeah.
And every time I Phobic has a good point, good countermeasure. They're volunteers. All these guys in this picture are volunteers. They volunteered to do this. It's got a good point.
I understand that they actually also have agreed. I wouldn't call them volunteers. I mean, they get paid to do it, so they're willing participants.
Well, but they volunteered to do that job.
They get paid. Volunteering to me would be free. They get paid. They're listed.
They're not volunteering in the sense of their time is volunteered. They volunteered to do that job. They were not selected. They actually went and applied to do that position, and that
absolutely.
Is not their
and
job.
They get paid separation from family pay under, I would say, the majority of circumstances. That's beside the point. I would much sooner give $450,000 to someone who volunteered to defend my freedom than to someone who did not.
I agree with Pat on this one.
Matter of fact, if the people who Biden wants to give $450,000 to, if each one of them wants to enlist for a 4-year membership in the American military, my ears would perk up a bit.
Well, part of the problem with that is like a big national security thing. Like, I don't know. It'd be hard to screen those people, I think.
Well, that's why we got people in high places that can handle that kind of job.
Anyway, so I was listening to America by Tom McDonald today. And every time I listen to it now, all I think about is how you said you didn't like it. But I'm listening to it, and there's not much that he says that isn't true. He's not like, I don't know, man. It just, for some reason, it kind of, I don't want to say irritates me or makes me mad or anything. It just, I'm like, I don't get why Pat doesn't like this song.
Well, there's a couple reasons. I don't remember the song well enough to specifically address the song because I haven't listened to it. But Tom McDonald became very redundant to me, which he wasn't at first. At first, he was going after people and going after ideas, and he was changing things up. He was constantly working on himself, constantly working on his music. And then he was like, holy fuck, this thing that I'm doing is making a ton of progress. You know, I'm speaking directly about the events in America and how great I am. And don't get me wrong, every rapper talks about how great they are, so that's not a stab at him. But he stuck with that formula and continued to beat the shit out of that dead horse.
Okay.
I don't remember that song specifically, but I know that by that point, I was already like, he needs to talk about some new shit.
Okay, that's fair, I guess. And Phobic says that they really can't sign up and do a 4-year term in the military.
I can't see the chat because when you opened up all these memes, it minimized the other screen, and I can't figure out how to maximize the other screen, so it is what it is.
No, that's not what I said. Oh, well, I thought that's what he meant. I'm not sure what he meant by they really can't. Anyway, what the hell, Chris?
Yeah, what the hell, Chris, is a meme. It is, you know those adopt a highway signs, you can adopt a road somewhere? And under your name, it says family and friends since 2017. So this sign says adopt a highway, and then it says Chris Bangs family and friends since 2017.
That's awesome. That's fucking
That
awesome.
guy has the worst name to adopt a highway possible.
What are you talking about? I think it's the best name.
It's fantastic. The only thing that can make this meme better, it's at mile 25 on this highway. If it was at mile 69, it would be better.
Yes. Phobic said I was referring to the inability to process security clearances. I see. This is kind of fucked
I
up.
have a new term for anything that my father put myself and my brothers through as children. This meme says, you call it PTSD. I call it spicy memory. It is a translated, some form of Asian writing sign, and the translation is spicy memory. And from now on, when I talk about some painful shit from my past, I'm gonna be like, that is a spicy memory right there. I like it.
This one says it's a picture of what looks like a delicious pumpkin pie with a triangle taken out of the left half of it, right in the center of the left half. And it says this person took his part, but negatively affected the others in doing so. He exercised his freedom, but with injustice. Freedom turns evil, and justice disappears when my freedom harms others.
Tom, this is what we're talking about. We say this all the time. Your freedom ends where my freedom is affected. So obviously this is just a fucking picture, but in this picture it tells such a beautiful story, because the story is you're welcome to have a piece of pie. There's no limitation set in the story, right? We can infer from this picture that this guy was told he can have a piece of pie. What he did was took the fucking middle of the pie and cut into 4 other people's piece instead of just taking a piece for himself. What this guy did was affect other people's freedom by exercising his freedom in a way that makes you go, you know, now we split in half. Half of us go, well, he was told he could take a piece of pie. We didn't put a limitation on that. And the other half of us go, well, he's a fucking asshole.
I don't know. I'm kind of with this guy. Sometimes you don't like the crust. You know what I mean?
Well, this is you have the right to bear arms, but it also doesn't say, but you can't have a nuke, you know? So we have to, it's one of those things, man. But you have the freedom of speech, but you can't yell out bomb in the middle of a crowded building.
I'm pretty sure there is a law that says you can't have a nuke. I could be wrong, but I have no idea.
I'm sure that now there are amendments made, but the right to bear arms didn't say after it, you have the right to bear arms unless it's a nuclear weapon. You can't do that.
Well, that's because nuclear weapons weren't around, Pat. I mean, come on. Anyway, great memes, Pat.
Valid point.
Great memes.
Kind of.
What do you mean? I said that they were great memes.
On to 3-finger news. That there is news that will shock you.
I feel you think I didn't like your memes.
I didn't say that you didn't like my memes.
That's the vibe the whole podcast is getting right now.
Oh. Well, that's not what I meme to do.
I see what you did there.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Get this back on the tracks.
3-finger
Tom,
news.
the first.
Whoa.
I'm sorry, are you placing an ad?
Yeah, this is stop time. Pat, let's hear this first 3-finger news story.
All right, Tom, you want to read the headline?
Hold on. I'm reading something Erica put in the chat. She said,
holy shit.
That's exactly what the teacher said last night. When C knows what the teacher is talking about and starts talking, however, he is impacting the other kids' learning, especially the kids that don't know the info. I assume that refers to the piece of pie story.
Yes, it does.
Okay. I'm not very bright. I never knew what the teacher was talking about. So here we are. Uh so the headline of the first story is Man spikes his goodbye cake at work with laxative. Chaos ensues as people shit everywhere. Classic.
This is a 2-minute read, so I'm going to read the article in its entirety. It's brought to us by Dr. J, August 21st, 2021. Ben Waller, 44 years old, of Houston, Texas, worked the corporate side of the oil and gas industry for 20 years. He made quite a bit of money over the years and decided to retire early to enjoy the fruits of his labor. Ben was also glad to be rid of the coworkers so shallow they could drown in a puddle. As typical of any goodbye party for an oil and gas employee, they pulled out all the stops and sang goodbye to Ben. There was a full table of barbecued meats and sides, cornhole for the sports guys to play, and plenty of Bud Light to go around. The centerpiece was the cake, a massive creation made to look like a barrel of oil. In the weeks and days leading up to his final days of work, Ben wanted to leave in a way no one would ever forget. His idea? To spike his going away cake with laxatives, and spike it he did. Over 10 boxes of X-Lax went into that cake. Not one to be left out. Not one to be left out. Ben also planned on having some cake too. I mean, who wouldn't want to shit on the floor of their former employer? Chief Franklin the Eighth said, "We are still trying to figure out how to inspect the scene without passing out from the smell. It was cake time and everyone was ready to chow down. Milton from the basement came up in hopes of landing a slice. 120 pieces of cake were dispersed, and within an hour of ingestion, over 100 people had uncontrollable diarrhea. The scene was everything Ben had hoped for and more. Shit running down the legs of people, desperate to get into an already full bathroom, people shat in trash cans and in the elevators. The chaos put a smile so big on Ben Weller's face that he was eventually found out. He was booked in Harris County Jail on charges of criminal mischief. No one is likely to press charges because no one wants to go on record talking about shitting themselves." Tom, I don't know if this story is true or not,
But it's
but I
fucking
fucking
awesome.
pray it is. I pray this is 100% accurate.
I feel like we would have got a little thing in the news about that because that was back in August that story came out.
It's fucking beautiful.
Yeah, what a great idea. All right, Pat, you want to hit the next one?
Let's do it. The prosecution rests its case against Kyle Rittenhouse, and judge dismisses curfew violation charge. Tom, we're not going to focus too much on it, but we are going to talk about that curfew violation charge. The state's 21st witness was a forensic imaging specialist with the State Crime Lab in Milwaukee who played never-before-seen drone footage of Rittenhouse fatally shooting Joseph Rosenbaum. Once the prosecution rested, Judge Bruce Schroeder agreed to dismiss a curfew violation charge against Rittenhouse, ruling that prosecutors had failed to present any evidence that a curfew was in place. Tom, this is the part that maybe makes me a little suspicious right initially, right as I'm reading this story, because I don't know what's really happened yet. But I read this and I think, so if there wasn't a curfew in place, right? Why was he charged with this violation? And I can't help but think that it was either to like hold him in jail or to get him in jail or to get a warrant or for some reason that they couldn't prove for whatever reason that he was guilty of another crime. So they used this to hang him up with. And I don't know that for sure, but it's very suspicious that he's charged with this crime and they don't do a single thing to prove that he committed the crime. That seems like backhanded tactics.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with law enforcement sometimes is they get you on something totally unrelated to get you on the bigger thing. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's what I'm concerned with.
Yeah, I get it. It's like dirty politics or dirty whatever you want to call it, policing.
Yeah.
And like the old saying goes, situations are situational.
Nicely done.
I think like I can't talk too much shit about it because in a certain case I would be like, yeah, good thing they got him on that so they could get enough to get him on the other thing, depending on what like, if
like this guy's suspected of raping a child. Thank God he also had to break the front door down to do it
yeah, or
because they got him on the breaking and entering.
yeah, you know what I mean? Or like,
Yeah, I get it.
So like, I don't know. Like I get it, but at the same time, I see where some people would be like, "Well, that's fucked up. That's dirty copying," and blah blah blah. Like they weren't planting evidence. I don't think. I don't know too much about this. I saw it on the news all day today, and I just happened to watch something that was on the Daily Wire. Dude, did you hear that Adam Carolla is going to the Daily Wire?
No, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah, they
Dude,
announced it today.
they are suiting up for battle over there
Yeah.
with Candace Owens, fucking Gina Carano, Ben Shapiro, and now Adam Carolla. Let's fucking go. Who's the other dude? Not Ben Shapiro. The other dude who has his own show. I really like. He's a good dude.
Who?
I can't think of his name.
Uh,
He looks like every white guy ever.
Is it? You mean the guy that did the Man Show with Adam Carolla?
No.
Oh, that guy is.
Oh my god! If you didn't bring him up, I could have told you his name.
He has his own podcast that me and Phobic used to listen to. I don't know if he still does listen to it. We actually were talking about it today.
Oh my god! I'm so upset that you did this because now I can't think of that fucking guy's name.
I can't think of it either, and I listened to it for a long time. Tim, what the fuck's that guy's name? Oh, hashtag alert. Phobic's gone.
Beside the point, we'll get back to the story.
Adam Curry.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yep.
The Man Show?
Yes.
You gotta make me Google this.
The Man Show was Adam Curry and Adam Carolla. No. Yeah, Adam Curry.
The Man Show. That's not the guy I'm thinking of.
Adam Curry and Adam Carolla.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh.
There you go. Jimmy Kimmel and Adam Carolla.
Oh, never mind. Then that's not the same guy I'm talking about. What the fuck?
What the fuck? You've taken this show so far down the fucking rabbit's hole.
Well,
all right, Tom.
Adam Curry has his own thing. It's called No Agenda. But I could have swore he did the Man Show.
Maybe he was on a different iteration of the Man Show. Maybe after Jimmy Kimmel left, Adam Carolla had multiple other hosts.
Yeah. All right, well, keep going with your story.
Yeah. The testimony has at times favored the prosecution's case that Rittenhouse committed 5 felonies and a misdemeanor in Kenosha. Yet other evidence, sometimes from the same witness, has bolstered the defense's argument that Rittenhouse, then 17, acted in self-defense when he opened fire. The events of that night, almost all captured on video, are hardly in dispute. Rittenhouse, armed with an AR-15 style rifle. Notice that is not an AR-15 rifle. It is an AR-15 style rifle. I fucking love journalists, dude. Fatally shot Rosenbaum, who was chasing the teenager and threw a plastic bag at him, and then shot at 3 other people who confronted him. Rosenbaum and Anthony Huber were killed, and Gage Grosskreutz was injured. I don't know if I got that name right. Something tells me I did not. The question before the jury, rather, is whether Rittenhouse's actions are to be considered reasonable or criminal. Rittenhouse fired his rifle 8 times in all during the chaos, following the police shooting of Jacob Blake. He shot Rosenbaum 4 times, fired twice at an unknown person who tried to kick him, fatally shot Huber, who had hit him with a skateboard, and shot Grosskreutz, armed with a gun, in the arm. This is another guy, I can't pronounce his name, testified that Rittenhouse was pale, shaking, and stammering his words after the shooting. She described Rittenhouse pulling his hair back and pulling it back really hard. And just his comment was, "My God, my life will be over." And we were just like, okay, calm down. One of the prosecution's most important witnesses, the paramedic shot and wounded by Rittenhouse, testified Monday. Grosskreutz, a paramedic out that night, testified that he believed the teenager was an active shooter, and so he pursued him and unholstered his own concealed firearm. He testified that he put his hands up when Rittenhouse pointed his AR-15 style rifle at him, but believed Rittenhouse did not accept his surrender. However, Grosskreutz also admitted that he pointed his gun at Rittenhouse before he was shot. When you were standing there, this is a quote from the defense attorney, when you were standing there 3 to 5 feet from him with your arms up in the air, he never fired at you, right? Correct, Grosskreutz said. It wasn't until you pointed your gun at him, advanced on him with your gun, now your hand is down, pointed at him, that he fired, right? Correct, Grosskreutz responded. In addition, the paramedic testified that his concealed carry license was expired. He also admitted he incorrectly told investigators his gun had fallen out of his pants earlier that night. To make their case, the defense had repeatedly focused on what one witness described as Rosenbaum's erratic behavior that night. Cell phone and surveillance videos show he threw a plastic bag at Rittenhouse and chased him across the parking lot before the teenager shot him. Other video from earlier in the night showed Rosenbaum yelling, "Shoot me, N-word." To one of the armed men said Rosenbaum acted belligerently and said he had threatened to kill him and Rittenhouse. He goes, "You know, if I catch any of you guys alone tonight, I'm going to fucking kill you," according to Rich Balk, a military veteran who brought his own weapon into Kenosha that night. Rosenbaum had just been released from the hospital that morning, his fiancée testified. She said he was on an antidepressant as well as medication to treat his bipolar disorder. Richie McGinnis, a video editor with the Daily Caller news site, testified that Rosenbaum had lunged for the front of Rittenhouse's rifle moments before he was shot. It was as if, you were to lunge at somebody and anybody were to lunge, they would probably stop themselves, from falling down on the ground. But the shots were fired at the exact instance that his momentum was going forward, and that continued until Mr. Rosenbaum landed on the ground. So this guy throws something at Rittenhouse, chases him around the parking lot, lunges at him, and gets shot. All of this adds up to me when this kid's literally he's defending himself. He's fighting for his life out there, and he's just shooting people. Maybe that's not the guy you lunge at. I'm just saying. Dr. Douglas Kelly with the Milwaukee County Medical Examiner's Office testified that Rittenhouse shot Rosenbaum 4 times, twice in the front, once in the back, and once along the side of his head. Video of the shooting shows Rittenhouse fired at Rosenbaum's front, so Kelly determined that the fatal shot to his back came as his body leaned forward. The only time during the interaction in which he could have incurred the gunshot wounds to the back and to the right side of his head was when he was more horizontal. And the only time that happens is the last 2 gunshots. The first 2 gunshot wounds are represented by the injury to the groin and the injury to the left thigh, neither which would have been fatal. Kelly said that horizontal position is consistent with a person either falling forward or lunging at someone. He also noted that Rosenbaum had a close-range gunshot wound to his hand, and that hand was over the barrel of Mr. Rittenhouse's gun when his hand was shot, which makes sense, Kelly responded. So this kid has a gun to protect himself in a parking lot where he agreed to help his buddy out, right? And then some people threaten to kill him. Then they chase him around the parking lot. Then they hit him with a skateboard. Then they try to kick him. Then somebody points a gun at him. And in all of this, he shoots some people. Tom?
I think the kid's innocent.
I think this kid sounds innocent.
I don't want to say he's innocent, right? But he's not innocent in the fact that he killed some people. He's innocent in the fact that I believe it was self-defense, or it could be.
I think that he's innocent of murder. He's absolutely guilty of killing people. He fucking killed him. He's not denying that.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Again, I don't know too much about it. This pretty much, if you're reading this for what it says, right?
Yeah.
And you think that this kid should go, he went out that night.
That he should spend 3 life sentences in prison?
Yeah, you're fucking crazy. He shouldn't spend a fucking second in prison.
Tom, the best of all of this is not in this article. This article I found it last night. I did see on the news, however, that, and I'm going to misquote it, so nobody fucking quote me on it, but one of the fucking prosecution's witnesses before they arrested basically takes the stand and openly admits that he doesn't know what the right answer is because he told the police and the prosecutor a story. It was a true story. And then the prosecutor convinced him to give different answers to make Kyle look guilty. And he said it all on the stand. He was like, I don't even know at this point because the answers you had me give you when we were rehearsing this are so different from the true story that I had told you that I don't know how you want me to answer now. And the prosecutor's just sitting there with his dick in his hands.
That's awesome.
I hope that guy burns in hell right after he gets fucking fired publicly.
Well, the clip I saw today, right, of this was they had the prosecution wanted to put in some evidence or be able to talk about something that had happened to this kid previously. And they ruled it out because it had nothing to do with the case, and it was a previous case that never went anywhere or some shit like that. And the judge said, no, you can't talk about that. And then blatantly asked the question and referred to that action. So they dismissed the jury, and the fucking judge went off on him, dude, for like 12 minutes about what an asshole he was. Why would he think that he could do that? If he wanted to bring it back up, he should have told the judge, blah, blah, blah. Like, just went, like, that prosecutor does not look good through any of this.
Fortunately, you and I both know that that is a common tactic used by prosecutors. I'm going to push this as far as I can. And it's not, listen, because the jury's going to be called back in. The statements are all going to be redacted. And it's going to be, hey, you guys have to ignore what you heard. You can't use it in making a decision. But they're fucking human beings, bro. You already said it. They already fucking heard it.
Not only that,
prosecutor should lose his job immediately.
Not only that, right? There's nobody in those rooms with them telling, like, nobody hears what they're talking about. So
no, there's I'm gonna say a bailiff. That's the wrong title, but there's an officer of some sort outside the room, and that's it.
Yeah. So like, you could say we're not gonna talk about this all you want, or don't talk about that all you want. You don't know what the fuck they're talking about in there.
Well, yeah, and it's like your moral and ethical obligation, right, as one of the members of the jury to be like, hey, fuck off, like we're not talking about that, or even to report that somebody's trying to talk about it. But it doesn't fucking matter. At the end of the day, they heard what they fucking heard.
Yeah, you
this
can't
prosecutor. Yeah, this prosecutor is intentionally breaking the law to put this kid away for breaking the law. That two wrongs will never equal a right.
Well, again, I don't know a whole lot about this. I know that, like, I remember when this shit went down, that they act like this kid went out there with the fucking gun and just started blasting people for no reason. That's how it was portrayed in the fucking news.
Yeah,
like,
Kyle Rittenhouse, as it's written, is basically Eric Harris.
Yeah, it was.
This kid's just walking through high school shooting kids up.
Yeah, dude, it was bad. It was fucking bad. But anyway, we'll see. Like, I just saw before we started the show that they the defense put in a mistrial, which I don't even know. Like, based off what we read here, right? And this is just what we read here. I don't think you have to, right? Like, why would you put in for a mistrial if you put it? Because then you got to go through.
So here's why. Because the last thing anybody wants, especially Kyle Rittenhouse, is that jury to not do what you expect them to do, right? If you can get a mistrial, it's over. It's done.
Well, no, they just retry him, though.
Oh, hold on. He asked for a mistrial. For some reason, I'm thinking that he's asking, what am I trying to say here, Tom?
I don't know.
Like for the charges to be dropped.
No, that's not what they're
asking. I thought that's what you were saying. So he's asking for a mistrial. Oh, boy. So whatever was said that jury heard is worthy of requesting that fucking mistrial, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, but I don't even know, man. Like, I don't know. Like, I haven't seen the whole. I mean, they're broadcasting this thing fucking live, so I could watch the whole thing. But at the same time, is it really even? Like, I don't know. I don't know how there's anything that's said that could make that jury come. But yeah, you could say that about a lot of shit.
Well, easy. You could say, listen. If Kyle Rittenhouse, and do not, don't take this out of context. This is an example. This is not fucking what happened. If it is a massive coincidence. But if Kyle Rittenhouse, at 10 years old, got talked to by the police because he was shooting fucking squirrels in his backyard, And that's not relevant to a murder case. You know, it's not. We're not talking about him being a serial killer or him fucking murdering people in his backyard and like making fucking clothing out of their skin like he was doing with the squirrels. But if it's something like that, where when he was younger, he did something that a human being could err in connecting, then the judge could say, no, we're not going to talk about the squirrels because it's irrelevant to this case. And the prosecutor, knowing that it could seem relevant to a normal human being, could have dropped that knowledge. Like, hey, is this similar to the 13 fucking squirrels that you murdered? You know? And the judge is like, oh, we just talked about the fucking squirrels. We're not going to talk about them. What the fuck?
Who knows?
So, who knows? I mean, I'm sure it wasn't murdering squirrels. If it was, God, I'm making such a big bet tomorrow.
Oh, dude, I can't wait to see the fucking boost bets tomorrow night.
Me too. Anyways,
You're as bad as me, dude.
The next story on Three Finger News. It's titled "Groupie Hell: Led Zeppelin Molested Teen with Fish." Book reveals. This is an article done by Chuck Arnold. Led Zeppelin had more than its share of sexcapades on the road, but things got freaky even for them with a young groupie and some fish in 1969. It's difficult for me not to laugh. This isn't funny, but it is difficult for me not to laugh.
When I first read this, I thought they meant the band Fish.
Nope. Did you read the article?
No, I just read the headline.
Oh. The incident, which is detailed in Bob Spitz's new book, Led Zeppelin, the Biography. So here's how it goes. Road managers for both bands. Vanilla Fudge is touring with Led Zeppelin, okay? Road managers for both bands. Richard Cole for Zeppelin and Bruce Wayne. No shit, his name's Bruce Wayne. That's amazing. For Vanilla Fudge. I didn't even catch that the first time I read it. They had caught a bunch of mud sharks and red snappers while fishing from a waterfront room at the Edgewater Inn. They brought their haul to John Paul Jones's room, where the Led Zeppelin bassist was smoking pot with Vanilla Edge drummer Carmine Appice and a 17-year-old groupie named Jackie. After Jackie had gotten pretty high, Cole and Wayne, that would be Bruce Wayne, told her to take off her clothes. Once she was naked, they started hitting her with the fish, and it left little teeth marks on her back. Things got pretty ugly and pretty intense, so we went out into the hall where Bonzo, the Led Zeppelin drummer John Bonham, and his wife Pat joined us, and we watched the action through the door. Other voyeurs would join them in the hall. In fact, we were invited to bring our wives to take a look. But after a while, we left because it was all a bit unsavory. That's not how I would describe this, but okay. But later on, things got even more degrading when Cole and Bruce Wayne came with their bucket of dead fish to Appice's room, where a naked Jackie sat on the bed as others were eating room service. They grabbed the butter off the cart and rubbed it on her genitals, and they started screwing her with the nose of the fish, pushing snappers into her as far as they could. How high is this girl? Are you with me?
Dude, this was back in the fucking 70s.
This is 69.
Hit. That's
hold
crazy.
On. The next line is just fucking the icing on this shit cake. And when they were done with all that, they urinated and defecated on Jackie. This is a 17-year-old groupie who's meeting celebrities that she probably would let do anything in the world to her, which is how she's getting fish fucked and shit on. But this is the most fucked up, and I'm sure there's a statute of limitation on all this stuff.
Man, this is pretty fucking gnarly, dude. How do these people sleep with themselves? It was, oof.
Yeah, that's like you can write about this now because nobody's going to go to jail for it, I assume. But, I mean, this shit came out, dude. These dudes were getting crucified. In 1973, Led Zeppelin discovered their safe deposit box at New York City's Drake Hotel had been emptied of approximately $200K in cash, as the band were just about to perform their last of 3 nights at Madison Square Garden. It was there that a 29-year-old Jimmy Page seduced a young groupie named Lori Maddox when she was just 14. He swept me off my feet and made me fall madly in love with him, Maddox says in the book. This is a different book. So related, it's still about Led Zeppelin, but a different book. He swept me off my feet and made me fall madly in love with him, Maddox says in the book. which also details the 1973 New York City robbery of the band in which $200,000 was looted from a hotel safe. He was the rock god prince to me, a magical, mystical person who was really convincing. I know he fell in love with me because of my innocence. It was no secret he liked young girls. So just to be clear, this girl was 10 4 years before this when this dude's fish fucking a 17-year-old and shitting on her. And this 14-year-old is like, I know he's in love with me because I'm young. I don't think this is love, sweetheart. And she wrote a book about it, so she's obviously dealing with it, at least in her own way.
That's rough.
But what the fuck, man? These guys. If you're a Led Zeppelin fan, you gotta holy shit.
Yeah, dude, I'm out on that one, dude. That's fucking gnarly.
Fucking crazy. Tom, we got one more.
We got one more, and then my favorite, football.
Football. I promise nobody's gonna get shit on, and nobody's getting fucked with a fish. No snappers on the snappers. Tom, this one, couple sues fertility clinic after IVF mix-up. Man, I should have highlighted what IVF means. It's in here somewhere. Da, 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 da. I know that Jessica right now
fertilization.
It's definitely not invertal.
Inverto. Vitro.
In vitro. In vitro. Yeah, there you go. In vitro fertilization. So, okay, we're going to talk about two sets of couples, obviously. Alex and Daphne. I'm going to call them Cardinal, though I don't think that's really what it is.
That doesn't say Daphne. This is Daphne.
Okay, Alexander and Daphne. Sorry, Daphne. You have a bad name. We're already the proud parents of a young girl. But when she kept asking for a sibling, they decided to do in vitro fertilization at a clinic their friend recommended. They are no longer friends with this person, guaranteed. On their second try, Daphne Cardinal got pregnant and carried the baby girl to term. But when Alexander saw the healthy child on the day of her birth in September 2019 with darker skin and dark hair, he says he knew something was off.
I love it.
Yeah, because your fucking kid has dark hair and dark skin. I mean, dead giveaway. The room shrank. What's that?
That's assuming this guy's white.
Valid. The room shrank and I got really dizzy and everything just went numb, he said in a video. I stayed in that place for a long time. For months, he commented on the baby's appearance. And then, in an attempt to assuage her husband's fears, Daphne ordered a DNA test. When they got the results, when the baby was 2 months old, they were shocked. Neither parent was related to the child. The fertility clinic transferred to Daphne an embryo that belonged to strangers. Daphne was, in other words, sort of an unwilling and unknowing surrogate for another couple's baby. Immediately, the couple started to wonder what had happened to their embryo. As it turned out, Wolf said, another couple had carried their biological child to term. They had effectively done a child swap. I looked at her and I was so this is about when they get their own baby. I looked at her and I was so aware that I just don't know her. I didn't know her at all, Daphne Cardinal said. So I remember thinking, I was like, I don't know you, which is a heartbreaking thing to think of your own daughter. At first, Wolf said, the Cardinals met up with the other family who lived nearby almost every day. Eventually, though, it was too difficult on everyone and they decided the children should be with their biological parents. She added that while it was exciting to finally bring her biological daughter home, she was equally devastated to lose a baby she'd raised since day one. I was losing a baby at the same time as getting a baby. It's truly an impossible nightmare. So there's grief, and so your heart starts breaking for the family, and at the same time, everyone's gaining a child, but everyone's losing a child. This is by far the worst part. That's still the biggest trauma for me. Tough to explain to a 5-year-old child that their sister that they had imprinted on and love, it's their sister, is not their sister. There's a fucking 5-year-old involved in all of this, bro. That's such a bad fucking day for those parents. Here's the real kicker, right? Everybody says it's different if it's your own kid, right?
Yeah.
It's different when it's your kid. You bond with this kid when you carry it for 9 months. Well, obviously fucking not, because you traded this fucking kid for a kid somebody else carried for 9 months. So it's not different when it's your kid. You either love the fucking child or you don't, because these people were happy to swap for another family's 9-month carried child because it was just their egg and their sperm.
It's crazy, man.
It's absolutely insane. The fact that they were like, fuck it, tradesies is insane to me. I don't know how I would handle it personally. One, probably just, I don't know, not go that route where this is fucking possible. I mean, obviously some people have to do it, but holy shit, to find out at 2 months that this fucking kid who has at this point shit all over your hands and like pissed on your shirt, that was all for nothing. It's not even your fucking kid.
How much money do you think these people are entitled to?
They have already filed a lawsuit. I love this. It's always the same when you file a lawsuit. The lawsuit is just to shine a spotlight on this issue so that there's a public discussion and understanding that these types of traumatizing events happen and that we need an understanding that we need to get regulation or regulations to govern fertility clinics. We want to make sure that this doesn't happen again. I'm sure that the fertility clinic wasn't like, hey, it would be a really fucking funny prank. Like, I'm sure they have fucking protocol in place. It was a mistake. Put all the fucking laws in place that you want to. Mistakes are going to happen.
Well, Pat, we've made it.
Okay, Tom, in the most remarkable, coincidental, beautifully timed picture ever, my father just sent me a photo of him holding what is, quote, a big rainbow trout. So right after that Led Zeppelin story, my father sends me a picture of a trout that goes from his eyeballs to his waistline.
Nice.
I wonder if he's going to fish fuck somebody with it.
Probably not.
Probably not.
You're dead? Maybe.
He was alive during the Led Zeppelin era.
All right, Pat. So we made it to football. If you're watching and you don't like football, this is the end of the show. Pat?
Erica said, however, what if you looked down at the baby and saw your face? I'm sure it wasn't easy for these parents. Oh, I'm sure it was a motherfucker.
Oh, dude, there's a whole bunch, man. Phobic said 10 out of 10 would do again. Not sure what he's talking about there.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Please tell me that is in reference to the fucking, if it's not the Kyle Rittenhouse story, there's only one other option here. And that is the Led Zeppelin story. If you could maybe just clarify which story you mean.
Bingo, fish fucking. He thought IVF meant intravenous fluid. And Erica said, I'm sure it wasn't easy for these parents. I'm sure it wasn't either. I don't know, man. That's a fucked up situation. You know what I mean?
That is a fucked story.
Both of them, the fucking the fish and the other one. But Pat,
however, anybody who's got children, if you haven't watched Switched at Birth, watch it with your kids, man. It's a good ass show.
Sure. What was I gonna say? So Pat, for the people that don't like talking about football, what do you have to say to
them? I say good day. There
you go. All right. So, for those of you that are in the survivor pool or not anymore, it's down to 3 people. It's the number 9 with Tommy podcast. It is Pat's brother Tony and Fuckface. Those are the 3 people left.
I just want to point out that I made it with 2 separate sets of picks. I have not bought in or rebought. And I finally got eliminated on one of these 2 sets. Like, the podcast is, I'm taking half credit for. Never got knocked out until fucking last week. And last week, I don't know if you watched that Cowboys game, did you?
No, dude, my old man was texting me about it. I was at Colin's game, which they actually won their playoff game. Congratulations to them. I think I said that in the last show. They won their playoff game, so we got another game this Sunday. Another Sunday, I won't get to watch all the games. And so pretty excited about that for them. They played phenomenally. It was really good. But anyway, so yeah, I didn't watch the whole thing, but dude, did they get fucking walloped? What the fuck?
Dude, the entire time, the commentators and the play-by-play guy were just talking about how Like, this is the first time in this long that this has happened. They can't believe like the statistical anomaly of this happening. And the whole time I'm just watching the Cowboys get their shit kicked in by somebody who had no business beating them in the first place, but then just completely shutting them down. I mean, the Cowboys did nothing right.
Yeah, it was. I'm pretty sure we
It was
talked about this
painful.
on Monday's show. Pretty sure
We probably did.
We probably did. But anyway, so here we are. Pat, we have to make a pick for the survivor pool. And I'm thinking we go with the good old Colts. They're playing Jacksonville. Indy's minus 10.5 for that game. Everybody, I mean, but you said maybe the Steelers because they're playing Detroit.
The Steelers are -9 in their game.
It looks like the last 5 games are 4-1. Home record is 3-2, and they're 13th in the power ranking.
We already used the Bills. They're probably the favorite. They're -12.5.
Indy is 3-2 in their last 5 games. To be fair, they did play Tennessee in one of those games. They're 2-3 as a home record. Don't really like that. And they're 17th power ranking. They beat Jacksonville on every level. However, Jacksonville is 2-3 in their last 5 games. What do you think, Pat?
I think we toss a coin.
Man, I tell you, I'm not sure. Yeah. We could go.
Or
Oh.
all right, where are you going? Where are you going?
How about this? Atlanta at Cowboys.
And bet the Cowboys?
Yeah, they're 8th in the power ranking. They're 3-1 at home and 4-1 in the last 5 games.
I don't know if you remember what happened in their last game. I'm happy to take the Cowboys, but they did just get me eliminated, and they did just get fucking embarrassed. They basically got fish fucked and shit on for the entire game.
To be fair, I have said this about the Cowboys all season, that they look pretty good, but let's wait till week 9 or 10 to see what they're really about, because that's when it all comes apart every year for the Cowboys.
It was brutal.
I think we got to go Indy, dude. I think we got to take Indy in this one.
All right. I will agree that we can take Indy. However, in taking Indy, we will each make a $50 bet.
What?
I will bet $50 straight up on the money line in the Steelers game for the Steelers to win, but you will bet $50 straight up on Indy on the money line to win.
Like actual bets in the game? In the thing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
All right.
I got to deposit more money. Or let's see if I win these other bets. So, all right. Dunzo. All right, so let's do the pick. Dude, last week in the fucking Pick'em League, dude, I think the winner got like only 8 wins or something like that, dude. It wasn't good. And it was actually the one and only Don Lindsay, I believe, won. I got to...
oh, shit.
Oh, actually, I think DJ Crispy won. Let me see here. Standings. Motherfucker. This stupid thing. Ooh, it says not available yet. I'm not sure what that means. There we go. Week 9. Yeah, DJ Crispy won it last week. So you got to give him some money. And I believe Don Lindsay came in second. So congratulations to those two.
Just for the record, no, we're good. We're good.
We're good on what?
We're good. Never mind. Never mind what I was going to say. We're good. I don't need to say what I was going to say.
All right. So let's make our picks for this week. We got Baltimore at Miami tomorrow night. I think that's an easy win for Baltimore, even though they're playing away. I don't see how in any way,
I
shape,
also
or
took
form.
Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean that's easy. We got Atlanta at Dallas. I think we should take Dallas, obviously.
Hey, Tom. Do you like when there are pop culture references in your entertainment programming? Like, okay, so I'm watching a television show.
I fucking hate it. Pat. You know what show I really loved?
What's that?
All American. Have you watched that show on Netflix?
I knew that's what you were gonna say.
Well, so see, like, I love the show, right? And this last season, they really put a big emphasis on Black Lives Matter, which
Because it's topical and it's relevant.
yes, exactly. And for some, like, dude, I want to hear this. The show is based off a true story, which I obviously with what's going on, it's probably nowhere near what really happened to this kid.
Right.
But I'm there for that story, right? The story of this kid and what he overcame. I'm not there to hear about what's going on in the world. If I wanted to see what was going on with Black Lives Matter and social injustice and all that, where there's a time and a place, right? I would watch the fucking
Yeah, the
news.
problem isn't that they're doing something that's topical and relevant. The problem is that you have writers whose opinions come across in the product. I don't want your political commentary in my fucking high school football show.
Yeah, that's my problem.
This is why I ask, because we're talking about the Miami Dolphins game, right?
Yep.
I'm watching I Know What You Did Last Summer, which is a television show on, I'm going to say Peacock. Oof. I don't know if that might be an inaccurate free ad. In it,
Peacock's great though.
This teenage high school football player gets killed, and at the funeral, one of the like local townspeople puts a flower on his casket and is like, "He could have been the next Tua." And I was just like, "Nice! Like, what a great reference."
Do you really
don't mind.
Do you really want him to be Tua? Because Tua fucking sucks.
Tua's making millions of dollars. I don't give a fuck how bad he plays.
Fucking sucks.
I would love to be Tua.
That's true. But he still sucks. He sucks at fucking football. I love these kids that come out of college, it's first round draft picks, and just fucking suck. I fucking love it. I love it.
I'm not quite sure what phobic is talking about. He said same person, same name, different mindset, new game, which actually could be a song lyric.
I don't get what that means.
I think he's
talking.
said. Oh, he said just a quote I saw and I liked it. I mean, it could vary. I actually thought it was a reference to Colin. I thought we were behind and it was about Colin's football team winning. Like, hey, these are the same kids, but they got a new mindset and now they're getting the job done.
I actually like that quote. It's a very good game. Or quote game. Jesus. I'm not sure what he put a question earlier and said, "Is that a question?" After he said, "Bingo, fish fucking." I'm not sure what happened between now.
I think because I questioned which story he was referring to, and he was saying like, "Bingo, the fish fucking." Was that even a question?
Oh, he questioned Good Day.
Oh, yes, that was a question. I wasn't sure if that's where Tom was leading me.
All right, so anyway, let's go back to the football picks. So we got Buffalo at the Jets. Easy Buffalo pick there. Well, maybe. Who knows? If Mike White's bad, dude, Mike White is all fucking. Oh, let's see if he's on the injury report. Zach Wilson is questionable with a knee. They don't have him on the injury report. So maybe Mike White that kid's baller as shit. Cleveland at New England. Now, this is an interesting matchup. I kind of like the Patriots in this one, Pat. What do you think? The Patriots have been coming on strong.
I took the Browns, but admittedly, I'm voting more with my heart than my head on this one.
Okay, I think I'm going to go with the Patriots for the team or for the podcast on that one. Detroit at Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's an easy win. Jacksonville and Indy.
Pittsburgh.
Indy. New Orleans at Tennessee. I'm going to go Tennessee.
I went Tennessee.
After they laid the ass whooping on the Rams, so I'm picking Tennessee every week. Tampa Bay at Washington. Easy Tampa Bay there. Carolina, Arizona. Easy Arizona. Minnesota at Chargers. What do you think here, Pat?
I took the Chargers.
I think the Chargers is a good pick as well. Philly at Denver. Now, Denver showed some life, obviously, against the Cowboys.
Fuck you.
They're not very good. Well, I don't know, man. They're better. They're playing the Eagles, dude. The Eagles are trash. I say we go Denver here.
I went Denver.
Seattle at Green Bay. My boy Aaron Rodgers is coming back. I think Green Bay is an easy W. Kansas City at Las Vegas. This is going to be an interesting game, right? Because Kansas City has sucked so fucking bad this year. The Raiders are coming off a loss that they should have won against the Giants. They're down. Homeboy there, obviously he's donezo. I think I'm gonna go with. Who'd you pick, Pat?
This could change, but I have tentatively picked the Chiefs.
I'm gonna pick the Raiders.
You know what, Tom? I'm gonna change my pick because the Raiders play better at home than the Chiefs do away, which seems obvious, but with a shaky Chiefs team, I'm very skeptical. I'm pretty sure I've picked the Chiefs in the first 9 games of the season, and they've let me down 4 of them.
Yeah. And then Monday night's game is the Rams and the Niners. That's an easy Rams. And the over-under, I'm going to put 3 points because, I mean, the Niners aren't going to score any points, so it doesn't fucking matter. They suck. All right, so there you have it. Pat, I wanted to ask you, because we haven't really talked, we haven't talked about it on the show. What are your thoughts on the Aaron Rodgers getting COVID? He said he didn't he said he was immunized, not vaccinated. Nobody called him out on that earlier. Now they're all fucking going crazy about it. What do you think about all that?
Well, I haven't seen anything personally, so I'm not going to take a side. Not because I don't want to take a side. I want to side against Rodgers, but I don't feel right siding against Rodgers. From
Because
what it
you
looks
hate
like,
Rodgers?
Correct. What it looks like is that Rodgers exploited a loophole, right? He was careful with his words. He wasn't lying, but he was probably being a little bit dishonest. And do I have negative feelings towards somebody who's willing to take advantage of the system? No, because the system provided him with that opportunity and he took advantage of it. So I'm not going to be mad at him for being intelligent. You know what I mean? Unless I were to find out that he did something unethical and put other people's lives at risk or their health at risk, then more power to him. I want to side against him, but I've seen nothing that makes me feel like he deserves to be punished beyond, he sat out a game.
Well, he had to sit out the game because he had a quarantine because he's not vaccinated.
Yeah,
and they make
that's punishment enough. He paid for, he paid for, I guess, not getting vaccinated by missing a game.
Well, I'm sure he'll still get that game check. He got fined $14,000 by the league. The Green Bay Packers, however, got fined $300,000. So here's something in case you didn't know this. The NFL and the Green Bay Packers and all of his teammates all knew that he was unvaccinated. They all knew it. So
yeah, because he was going through an immunization process, correct?
It's something, where he was doing things to hyping his immune system or whatever. So he actually did two interviews with Pat McAfee. He does his Aaron Rodgers Tuesdays with him, and he came out Thursday and did an hour show with him, and basically just told his side of the story. The NFL knew because he tried to get them to approve this immunization process to quote unquote call you vaccinated, where you didn't have to follow all the mandates. And to be fair, like I said, I've been listening to a lot of sports radio. The sports show the channel that I've been listening to is the channel that Pat McAfee is on, and they've been burying this fucking guy, burying him. And me, because I'm an open mind thinker, you know how we're always saying the media is fucked up in the way that they word things.
Yeah, because they have the brush, man. They paint it whatever shade they choose.
So Rodgers, he asked the question, right? And it was, if I think we covered this on the show. If the vaccine's so good and so safe, why are people still getting sick? Why are people still being hospitalized and still unfortunately dying? It's a question. It's not a statement. That's if you're an open-minded person or a critical thinker for yourself, you would look at that and say, why is it that way? I'm looking for the answers. So dude, they were playing it at that soundbite and then saying, this guy's spreading misinformation. Well, he's not. He asked a question and gave you actual things that are happening. He's not spreading misinformation.
No, spreading misinformation in an inquisitive fashion would be very, very difficult to do. You would have to blatantly pick something that you know is untrue. And Aaron Rodgers is not in the medical field. In fact, he's pretty focused on his individual career right now and his team. So he probably hasn't had much time to investigate Corona. So if he has a question and there's a group of media folk who will put that question in the limelight, maybe he'll actually get the answer. But instead of that, they tore him down and they trashed him for asking a question. The only way you could really spread misinformation with a question, Tom, would be if you created a lie and then asked a question about the lie. Aaron Rodgers didn't create a lie. If I said, Tom, why do I keep seeing all these news stories about Joe Biden being a homosexual? I've heard he had 14 different partners and 6 of them were underage. Have you heard that? That's misinformation through question.
Yeah.
Like, I completely fabricated every piece of that, right?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is like, hey, here's an observation that I've noticed. People are continuing to get sick, even though the number of vaccinated people has grown dramatically. Why is that still happening? And they're like, oh my God, this motherfucker's planting false information everywhere.
Yeah.
No, not really. Again, I'd love to hate on Rodgers with everybody. I would love to. There's just not room for it here.
Yeah, it's he went on Pat's show and I haven't heard the interview yet. I haven't listened to it. But he pretty much said like I'm done with this. I'm not a justice warrior trying to fight for people. He goes, and he said this when he went on Pat's show to explain everything. He said, "Listen, I did what I thought was right for me and my body. He's allergic to he's allergic to the ingredients he says in the mRNA whatever that is vaccine, which is the Moderna and Johnson or in Pfizer, and he didn't want to get the Johnson one because of the issues he saw with blood clotting or whatever. So
Right.
that's his personal choice. He has the ability. Like, why are people crucifying? And then people are calling him selfish and shit. I'm like, dude, you people are fucking crazy, man. How is he selfish? Like, he's selfish because he's choosing to do something that's best for him. Like, I guess that is the definition of selfish. But at the same time, why would he put himself at harm to potentially not put others at harm?
Not only that, and especially when we're talking about somebody's individual health, we all use this term negatively. Aaron Rodgers being selfish. Is that really a negative term? Tom, I don't have children. I choose a career based on financial gain. I make selfish decisions constantly. Shit, I do favors for people out of selfishness because it makes me feel good. I do things all day, every day that make me feel good. That's a selfish behavior. It doesn't mean it's a negative. It's not a bad thing. So Aaron Rodgers, knowing that he's allergic to these things, made a selfish decision to not go with the flow and make things easier on the league or easier on his team or even easier on himself in ways. He decided to selfishly do what he felt was right, despite what other people wanted him to do. Is that a bad thing? Does that make him a bad person? He was being selfish. Fuck it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll end it by this, right? Because
well, hold on. Before you close us out, every time somebody eats a fucking meal that's not perfectly healthy, they're making a selfish decision because they're going to die sooner and they could have lived longer for their family. So are we all just fucking horrible fucking human beings?
Yes.
Well,
I'll end it with this. And it's just something that he said. Well, it's 2 things. One, the only thing that he's guilty of is going to press conferences without a mask, which if you're unvaccinated, you're supposed to. And he said, and the logic makes sense to me, he said, I'm in a room full of vaccinated people who are all wearing masks. Why the fuck do I have to wear a mask? If they're all protected against the virus. But 2, which it makes sense to me. And he said, so if that's what but they all knew I was unvaccinated. Nobody said anything until now when I got it, blah, blah, blah. And he also said this, and it makes sense. Health or medical decisions is not a one size fits all. And that's why he's able to make the decision whether or not he wanted to get the vaccine. Right. It all makes sense to me. So hopefully he'll be out there Sunday against the Seahawks. And he said he was feeling good or whatever. Yeah, it's fucking wild, man. I feel, but it's because he's a premier guy in the league. If Tom Brady
Right.
got COVID and it came out that he wasn't vaccinated, it'd be the same shit. You know what I mean? So
Not only that, if the guy next door to you was allergic to the vaccine and he chose to go with an immunization routine, you wouldn't even question it. And the news sure as shit wouldn't give a shit.
yeah,
It would be, oh, that guy's doing what's right for him. Good for him. Good.
yeah, we're all good over here. But anyway, so that's pretty much it, man. I'm glad we got to talk a little about football. This Pat, good show, man. Good show. You're texting. That's cool.
I am actually writing the recap before I forget certain things.
Okay, that makes sense.
I agree. It was a good show. Good time.
Let's hope I hit those basketball bets. I'm putting a $50
agree.
bet on the money line for Indy.
Me too. On the Steelers.
It's a wild move. And we'll see you guys here next Sunday. We'll tell you about if we won, if we lost, because by then those games will be over. We're doing it Sunday night, right?
Hopefully Rittenhouse's defense will rest by then, and maybe the jury will start deliberating.
Well, I'm telling you, man, they're motioning for a mistrial. I already told you that.
Well, that doesn't mean they'll get it.
Yeah, but I don't think. But I don't know. You think they're gonna? I don't know. I don't know how all this shit works. But anyway, Pat, you want to get us out of here?
Yeah, Tommy, number Niners, I say good day.
Good day. YouTube, Twitch. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you guys on Sunday. Phobic, thanks for coming, man.